So another concept regarding this European climate concern, the winds blow all the year round from the Atlantic Ocean towards Europe. See here, this is Atlantic Ocean and the winds are blowing from southwest. So this arrow mark, this is southwest and they are moving to northeast. Northeast. So since they blow from the west, these winds are called westerlies. What are those? The winds which blow from the west, and those are called as westerlies. What are those? Westerlies. Okay. Actually, we already discussed that these blow from the southwest towards the northeast, and these winds are warmer than the land temperature and are moist too. So these are warmer. And the climate of Western Europe, affected by these warm and moist winds all the year round as they blow throughout the year. Okay. And here there is one question. Can you guess the impact of westerlies on Europe? Yes, Europe. And here another concept regarding the climate of Europe, warm ocean currents. And what is a current? What is a ocean current? And what is meant by warm ocean current? The waters in the ocean are not static. They are moving. They used to move. They keep flowing from one place to another along the continent or along the direction of the continent. Once again, the water which are in oceans flowing from one place to another along the continent, these are the ocean currents. What is ocean current? What is ocean current? The water which flows from one place to another place, such we call it as ocean current. And they flow for thousands of kilometers in the ocean, just as rivers flow on land. And they may flow thousands of kilometers. Okay, one such ocean current is to be found in the Atlantic Ocean. This current, what is a current? Moving from one place to another place. Even, for example, in your room, when you switch on, then the light will be in active mode. So what happened in the process? The current which is in the wire, it moves from switch to the bulb. So that is the current actually, my dear children. Moving from one place to another place. And this current originates or born near the equator where the waters are warm throughout the year. This current and the water movement starts from or near the equator where those waters are warm throughout the year. This current flows westwards to North America. See here, westwards. So this is, my dear, so this is actually western part to North America. So this is North America. So this is Western Europe and moving to North America. And see, it flows north along the eastern coast of America under the impact of westerlies. So we already discussed that. So what happened here? So westerlies the the air which blows from western side to northeast of Europe, and it was influenced by westerlies and then advances towards Europe, northeast moving northeast. It hits the western coast of Europe. When it was moving northeast, it hits or it touches it touches it touches the western coast of Europe, and this current is called Gulf Stream in America. See here, you made here. So this is because of that, and this we call it as Gulf Stream. Gulf Stream. Okay, moving northeast, it hits the western coast of Europe, and this current we call Gulf Stream in America, while in Europe it is called North Atlantic Drift. In Europe we call it as North Atlantic Drift, and whereas it is called as Gulf Stream in America. Okay, the coastal waters of east coast of North America and the west coast of Europe do not freeze in winters thanks to Gulf Stream. Thus, it is possible for ships to visit the ports on these coasts in winter. Okay, because they do not freeze, they do not get more temperature, a cool temperature. So that's why it helps a lot for to transport in the water. So those are one of the important factors or important topic regarding this. So see here, why do you think the climate of Eastern Europe is not so strongly affected by the warm currents? So the waters near the equator are dash, whether it is warm, cool, icy cold. And starting near the equator, the Gulf Stream reaches dash coast of eastern coast or western coast or northern coast of America. Then you must find all these answers, my dear. The Gulf Stream flows in the dash, whether Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea or Black Sea. And the waters of the Gulf Stream which hit the European coast are, whether it is cold, warm or icy cold. The westerlies blow from the Atlantic Ocean towards Europe in winter or in summer or all around the year. So these winds are dash, dry, moist or icy. So you fill all these things and you show me, my dear. You have to fill all these blanks and put me in your WhatsApp to my number. Okay. And another type of climate, that is Western Europe. What kind of climate we can see in Western Europe concerned? See, shows all the year round. So the westerlies we already discussed, which blow throughout the year, also bring ample moisture to the northern and western Europe. Since these winds blow from the sea, they carry a lot of moisture and regularly cause rainfall. Because of this moisture, generally they receive rainfall regularly. Therefore, it rains throughout the year in northern Europe and western Europe. While it rains only for a few months in our country. Because if you observe that, my dear children, but whereas in our country concerned we receive only few months, but whereas this Western Europe and as well as Northern Europe, they receive the rains throughout the year because of these Atlantic Ocean westerlies and as well as Gulf streams that we have to consider. And there are light shows all around the year in Western Europe. Light shows, shows all around the year in Western Europe. The sky is usually cloud. So what a wonderful climate in Europe, actually, really wonderful climate. As we are Indians, generally we are held up. We are irritated with our this what we say uncomfortable climate. But whereas in Europe, wonderful and pleasant climate. Every day they see their sky is cloudy, while we in India eagerly await cool showers, and we have been waiting for the cool breezes, showers, like the people of Western Europe await bring sunny days. But whereas these European people, my dear children, Western European people, they are waiting for sunny days. But whereas Indians, we are waiting for cloudy or winter days. So that is the difference between the Europe and as well as India. And Western Europe also benefits the other ways from the Gulf streams. Western Europe, they benefit in other ways, and the warm currents are very good for fish breeding. So what is the use of this Gulf Stream concern? So it is useful for fish breeding, and as they contain ample food materials for the fishes. Gulf Stream. As a result, the fishery industry is very well developed in North Sea near Britain. What industry was developed? Fishery industries. Where? In North Sea, which is nearby Britain. So this part of the North Sea is called Dogger Bank. What do we call it? Dogger Bank. Fish is an important part of the food of the Europeans, and fishing is very important industry in Europe. So name the countries which would benefit from the Dogger Bank. So here, what are the Western countries of Europe and all these things? You can see that. So what are the Western countries? Possess benefit the Dogger Banks almost my dear children, almost Britain, Ireland, Norway, and Denmark. So Germany is done, and Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain, and as well as Portugal. So all these things, all these countries, actually, they are benefited because of this Dogger Bank. Okay, so that is one of the important concepts. And if we move on, the another type of climate which we can see in southern Europe. What are the southern countries of Europe? See here. So these are the southern countries: Spain, France, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, and even got some small countries are there. And even so these we call it as southern countries of Europe: Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Serbia, Bolivia, Romania, and Bulgaria. Okay, so all the Hungary. So these are all we consider. Hungary we cannot consider, but these Austria. So these are all southern countries, southern European countries. And what type of climate they receive? These southern European countries, what type of climate they receive concern? And they receive Mediterranean type of climate. Why like that? They have the Mediterranean Sea to their south. See, my dear, so this is Mediterranean Sea. Because of this, it influences the climate of these countries. See here. So they are called Mediterranean countries. The lands along to the Mediterranean have a distinct climate called Mediterranean climate. The land along the Mediterranean Sea have a distinct climate called the Mediterranean climate, and the Mediterranean countries are the southernmost countries of Europe. As a result, the winters here are not too cold and summers are warm. They are not too cold and summer. It does not rain along through the years as in Western European, but some months only. But whereas in Western Europe concerned, throughout the year, they receive cold temperature and as well as they receive rainfall. But whereas here concerned, they do not receive rain throughout the years. But the westerlies blow here during the winter months also. These winds bring rain to the Mediterranean countries. So these westerlies, and which blows from Western Europe to northeast, and those influence or help to get the rains in these countries. And in other words, it rains here only in winter. In other words, because of these westerlies, they receive rainfall only in winter. Such rainy winters and dry summers are termed as Mediterranean climate. The dry summers and rainy winters are termed as Mediterranean climate. Can you explain what is meant by Mediterranean climate, my dear children? Mediterranean climate is which prevails in southern European countries where they receive rain during winters and where they possess the warm climate in summers. So instead that we can say that the rainy winters and the dry summers are termed as the Mediterranean climate. Several reasons in other continents too have a Mediterranean climate. This climate is very good for growing juicy fruits. So what is the use of this Mediterranean climate consists good for growing juicy fruit? The regions with Mediterranean climate are famous for their fruits. So what kind of fruits are growing there? Fruits like olives, figs, grapes, oranges are grown extensively in southern Europe. What are those fruits? The fruits like olives, figs, grapes, oranges, they are grown extensively in southern Europe. So this is, earlier there are some important things which you have to remember. Compare Mediterranean and Andhra Pradesh climates and the following aspects. Seasons. What about the seasons? What are the rainfall in Europe, in Mediterranean climate and as well as Andhra Pradesh climate? When does it rain most in our state? In summer months or in winter months? And find out your region gets light winter showers and the name given to it in the regional language. And fishing industry is important in dash, whereas fruit growing is important in dash. So these are the important things which you have to remember regarding the climate of Europe concerned.